Hey everyone, DOS Reviews here again, this time with some Red Wing traction tread lights. So this is model 2415, I believe, and I have had these guys about 2.5 years. This is typically what my boots look like after 1 year. 1 year. So right away, these boots are holding up pretty good for what they are. They're holding up really good. These guys have been on my feet since, let's see, December 2020. Got them up at the Albuquerque store and was fitted. I had a Brannick of 9.5 D, but they were just too snug for me, so I went up to a 10D. Now, as you guys may know, I have a pair of Nix boots, some Nix Builder Pros. They have become my new, actually like making money work boots. I work in retail. I know my Builder Pros are overkill. I still really like them, but these guys, probably where it's at. Or at least this style. So first thing you can notice is it's a wedge sole, which, as they say, is best for concrete. And I'm on concrete, 40 hours a week. So they kept my feet really comfortable up until about the 2-year mark. And then you can't see that, but the soles on the inside started not being as comfortable, which prompted me to get the Builder Pros, which, yes, I like to wear just to wear. Now these guys, like I said, were on my feet about 2 years, constantly, doing 10, 15,000 steps a day. I have kicked a lot of stuff. I have dropped a lot of stuff on them. I have spent a lot of time on the ground, kind of crouched down, stalking or picking stuff up. If you work retail, you know what I mean. A lot of kicking stuff. So, honestly, these boots have held up the best of any boots I've had up until the Nix, but the Nix are only like 7 months old now, so time will tell. So most of the time I get holes and I just blow out my boots in a year, but these are going on 2.5 years. So like I said, 10, 15,000 steps a day, kicking stuff on and off my knees. I have worn down the thread right there on the mock toe. However, this is one of those one-piece mock toes, not a two-piece mock toe, which I later found out this is more common than a two-piece mock toe, and there's also a three-piece mock toe, but I digress. The one-piece mock toes, these stitches are just decorative. There's no actual integrity damage to the boots. Sure, I wore the stitches out. Maybe a cobbler might throw some stitches in there if I really wanted to, but these are work boots. Not super worried about these guys. So I bought them for about $230. Like I said, about December 2020. Now they're about $250. I still think that's a reasonable price for them. Now, obviously, these laces aren't stock, but green's my favorite color, so I had to throw some green laces on. So once I got my Nix, these guys transitioned to my yard work boots. So I don't know if you can see all the little grass bits. We have goat heads out here in New Mexico. So if you don't know what a goat head is, it's just a little sticker. Think like a tack or a jack. Yeah. A jack? The thing where you like throw a ball down and you catch it and you pick up a jack. Like one of those. So they stick in the boots. And as you can see, I have lots of stickers. I really like these boots because if you get anything stuck in your boots, just, you know, run it on the ground, run it on some rocks or a paver or something, knock it all off. Goat heads just come off super easy. I have stepped in like poop and stuff. A little bit more difficult, but I don't know, just brush it out or get a water hose. Probably water hose. It's not too bad. Because this is just a wedge sole, stuff just doesn't get stuck in there like a lug sole would. So, in general, I would recommend wedge soles if you're like going in and out of customers' houses or something, or you know, you're working on wood flooring that you don't want to scratch, because just you know, drag your feet on the concrete outside before you come in and chances are you'll be good. Now, as you notice, the tread's not too bad. I've done quite a bit of walking. It's smooth concrete, not the rough concrete, but still, I've done a lot of walking, and there's a decent amount of tread. Like, that's just about even right there, but even then I can still kind of feel the slope. So for me, these soles have worn great. I kind of want to get a resole, not because they need it, but because I want pretty soles again. But they're yard work boots now, so I don't really have much of an excuse to make these pretty. Let's see, what else can I say about these guys? They've held up really good. I've never cleaned these boots besides just maybe wiping them off with like a rag. No oil at all, nothing. This is just how they came. So, every mark tells a story, and they're all there. Couple things. Let's see, so if maybe you found this from my Nick's Boots review, you know, the heel counter right there is squishier. You know, it's still pretty firm. You know, I still can't really bend it that much. Maybe more than a Nick's boot, but still, it's a pretty solid boot. I don't believe there's a shank in this. I think it's just you know, the footbed. But climbing ladders, I've had no real issues with these boots hurting my feet. In fact, going from these guys to these guys was really weird, because I would step on like a, you know, those like rolly ladders, that kind of, you step. I would kind of step right here in the middle with these boots for so long that when I got my Nick's, oh look, it's not flat. And I almost fell off the ladder a couple times before I got used to my new boots. So if you're needing like full total foot planted on the ground, wedge soles. If you're climbing like regular ladders, you know, these guys are probably where it's at. But for like those rolly ladders or more steps, I'd probably say these guys. You know, 2 years, $230, $115 a year. You know, that's really not too bad. You know, a lot of people talk smack about retail not being that tough on your footwear, but it actually is. It's more tough than you would imagine, especially if you work with pallets, because you get pallets like right here and they just rub. You know, probably most of these cuts and scratches and dings are from pallets, honestly. Pallets and just the floor itself. And these guys have still held up. I have a pair of Chippewas I might do a review on that. They have like a big old cut right here. Pretty sure that came from a pallet. I'm not 100%, but like they got cut like super quick. These guys have held up. Drop pallets on them. Just regular merchandise. You know, the first drop of an engine display right there, right on the toe. By the way, this is a safety toe. For the longest time, I thought it was a steel toe, but I think it's actually a composite toe, according to the website, at least the Red Wing website. Either way, it's done its job. It's protected my toes from me being clumsy and dropping stuff on them. I really like these boots. You know, I still actively wear them. They're not as comfy as they were day one, because they do have the squishy. These are you know, the fabric and the squish. It's not a leather, you know, just leather. It's not just leather. I believe there's a cork filler to make it kind of form to your foot instead of like a leather midsole that would form to your foot and be, you know, more longer lasting. The cork kind of spreads out eventually until you're just worn through it, and it's kind of pushed out into the extremes of the footbed. Let's see, what else can I say about this boot? It is waterproof. I've never really tested that super hard, but walking through puddles and stuff, just normal day-to-day stuff, my feet never got wet. Construction wise, I believe this is a 360 Goodyear welt. So you have the leather of the actual boot, and then you have the welt right there on the edge, and that's sewn to the actual boot leather. And the welt comes out all the way around and is stitched. And I believe that's supposed to be the most waterproof, water resistant stitch out there. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it might be like a Norwegian welt or a storm welt or something that's better, but these are pretty good. They are resolable. Like I said, I haven't done it yet, but they are resolable. Red Wing has a pretty decent resole service. Last I looked, it was like $100 or $120. Little crack in the welt, it looks like. And they'll resole it. I'm sure your local cobbler can do it. This is supposed to be a pretty basic kind of construction. You know, they just cut it, sand it, glue it, slap a new one on, call it a day. Let's see, a little bit of heel wear. You can see it's kind of starting to delaminate right there, I believe. Because this part here is more squishy than this part here, and it's starting to separate. So I guess if this completely comes off, I might send these in for a resole. But right now they're doing good, eating up goat heads, stepping on rocks. As you notice, the actual labels deteriorated pretty quickly, where you cannot read it. If that's important to you, it's not to me, but it is what it is, and I just wanted to let y'all know about it. You know, these guys are nice and broken in, and it's a pretty tough boot. It really is. Shovels, ladders, stairs, rocks, goat heads. lots of driving, lots of just sitting with these boots on. Commuted 150 miles a day in these boots for a while, you know, having them on for, you know, 12, 13 hours a day, no biggie. Your feet will get sweaty. I will say that I only really noticed it after I got to my Knicks and went back to these for yard work. These guys make your feet sweat. You will get used to it, but that is a thing. So maybe get a boot dryer early on. I have one of the Pete boot dryers, and they do a really good job. I'll have to do a video on them sometime, but now for 200 bucks, 250 bucks, really good boots. Now these are my only Red Wings that I've dealt with. I have had a pair of slip-on Irish setters. They were pretty good. They lasted about that year like most of my boots do, except in this case, on the inside here on the lining, the you know, the fabric lining, it ripped. So my foot would go in, but I'd try to take it out and the lining would like catch the ball of my foot, or the heel of my foot, I'm sorry. And it was just hard to get off. It physically trapped my foot in the boot. And I had to kind of scoop my hand down and kind of push the fabric back. But beyond that, they were good boots. These are good boots. You know, they're not a crazy price like Knicks or Whites or Franks or JK's. You know, 250 bucks is still a lot, but it's easier to swallow than Pacific Northwest boots pricing. So if you're looking for something about in the 250 range, wedge sole, safety toe, these happen to be a 6-inch. They make them an 8-inch, but it's, you know, add 20 bucks or whatever. Yeah. Can't recommend them enough. I've pretty much told all my coworkers how awesome these boots are. Nobody's bought a pair of Red Wings off those yet, but they're still awesome. Some closing notes. You know, you have 3 eyelets, 1, you know, fabric eyelet, and then 1 speed hook. So pretty short boots. Not crazy ankle support, but enough for me, I guess, and my weak ankles. It's just a taller boot will, of course, provide more protection. Well, yeah, more protection, but more stability too is what I meant. So yeah, 2 years solid use, 2.5 years, or 2 years solid work, 6 months on and off yard work. Not too bad. You know, some people might just destroy their boots in 6 months. Well, maybe that's when you need to get a Pacific Northwest boot, because they're not going to die in 6 months. But if you're kind of medium duty, you know, I really can't recommend these Red Wings enough. They've done my feet a good service, kept them safe, kept them warm in the winter. They do not slip. The floor has to be really slippery for you to start slipping in these. That's a problem I've had in like some Ariat boots, is they just start slipping after a certain point, and I can't really work with that if I'm just going to slip and slide on just regular concrete. You know, that's just unacceptable. But these guys, living up to their name of traction tread. So yeah, if y'all have any questions, just holler down in the comments. But they're good boots. They are good boots. Maybe won't get you the prestige of Pacific Northwest, but that's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep your feet safe and you safe. Thanks. Have a good one. Bye.